So you're thinking about buying a house in San Francisco, and what's important to you is being budget friendly, somewhere really centrally located, hopefully, and great for commuting, and you want a single family home. You're probably asking, does that even exist in San Francisco? Budget friendly? Okay, it's all relative, but there are two really great neighborhoods, Sunnyside and Miraloma Park, where this is achievable. I hear all the time from buyers that they are feeling priced out of Noe Valley, Eureka Valley, maybe even Bernal Heights, but they don't want to sacrifice living in a condo over a single family home. So they come to us and we point them to Sunnyside and Miraloma. These neighborhoods are not for everyone though, so I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of living here and what you need to know about this great spot. Let's go. If you stick around, we will be touring a quintessential Miraloma Park home so you can get a feel for what it's like to actually live here. Now let's get into it. Welcome to Sunnyside and Miraloma Park, celebrated for their relative affordability and convenience to the Glen Park and Balboa BART stations, Muni lines, and freeway access, making commuting a breeze. Sunnyside and Miraloma are bordered by I-280, Glen Park and Westwood Park, and Westwood Highlands. Miraloma sits right on top of Sunnyside to the north. If you're someone who commutes to South San Francisco or the peninsula for work, this is a prime spot. Access to 80 could not be easier, especially if you're in Sunnyside. From Sunnyside to Facebook headquarters in Menlo Park, it's a 35-minute drive compared with the outer Sunset where it adds 10 minutes to your commute. Monterey Boulevard, which splits Sunnyside in half and runs the width of the neighborhood, connects directly to the freeway. You can also take the freeway into downtown if you work further north. Getting from Sunnyside all the way into the heart of downtown to, say, Salesforce Tower, it's about 20 to 25-minute drive and then 35 minutes on BART. If you're a frequent flyer, SFO is only 13 minutes away from Sunnyside. The area can feel more suburban and like you're not in a major city, so the mix of that plus the direct access and feeling really central is what makes this a really special spot. Let's talk about walkability and sun. To be totally honest, these are two things that lack in Sunnyside and Miraloma Park. It's not the reason people move to this part of town. In terms of walkability, the scores for walkability for these areas, Miraloma Park is in the 60s, Sunnyside is in the 70s. Compare that with, say, Glen Park, which is in the 80s, Noe Valley and the Mission, which are as high as the 90 percentile in terms of walkability. Despite its name, Sunnyside is not actually very sunny. It's closer to like the fogginess, I'd say, of the Sunset. So you're not probably moving here for the weather, although you have, probably better access to some of the sunnier parts of town compared to the Sunset, which feels further out west. Miraloma Park can be a bit cooler and more windy due to its higher elevation. San Francisco pro tip, it's important to dress in layers in the city. You could be in the Mission in 80-degree weather and then drive 10 minutes to temperatures in the 60s. Why do people love living here? Why do they pick this spot of town? If you're in search of a more suburban feel, or you don't need to be in the thick of the city, and you want the possibility of finding a single family home under $2 million or even closer to 1.5, this would be a great spot for you. The majority of homes are single-family residences. You hardly find any condos and TICs, and they tend to be more entry-level price points. Compare it with the Sunset. They both tend to be options for buyers needing entry-level price points, but folks gravitate towards Sunnyside and Miraloma instead of the Sunset if they don't want to be so far west, and access to busier neighborhoods is really important to them. These areas are also known for having a higher concentration of homes that are detached. Many homes, especially in Miraloma, because of its hills, have great views, which adds to its charm. Some of the homes are very unassuming from the exterior, and when you step inside, suddenly you have pretty epic views. The streets tend to be windier in Miraloma, whereas Sunnyside has a more grid-like system and generally a flatter topography. The homes here tend to be well-built and more straightforward compared to, say, Bernal Heights, where you can get more funky floor plans, houses without parking, and overall more quirks. You sort of know what you're getting into in this area, which can make it really good for understanding the home for first-time home buyers. If this is your first time on our channel and you're looking for more videos about what it's like to live in this city, make sure to hit the subscribe button. My name is Lauren Neuschel, and I'm part of the Krishnan team, helping buyers every day find their right home. If you're someone who's thinking about buying or selling, feel free to reach out to us directly. Okay, so given it's not walkable, what is there to do here? What's the commercial feel? There's not really a commercial hub in these parts of town. In Miraloma Park to the north, you have a small mall that has Molly Stone's, Taqueria Miraloma, Starbucks, and some other conveniences. To the east side of Sunnyside, some people can walk based on where their house is to Glen Park, where you have Glen Park Canyon Grocer and some coffee shops, restaurants, things like that. On Monterey Boulevard, which is the main boulevard that cuts through Sunnyside, you have a Safeway. So it's definitely easy to kind of get your groceries, and most of what people are doing here are hopping in the car to go to, nearby Bernal, nearby Noe Valley. Sunnyside also enjoys proximity to Ocean Ave, technically more associated with Ingleside neighborhood, providing more convenient access to a Whole Foods, a lot more restaurants and coffee shops. Residents don't tend to walk here just because City College of San Francisco sits right in between Ocean Ave and Sunnyside, making it more of a driving trip. It's the largest school facility of the many sites of this college and has been a fixture in the community since the 1930s. And of course, several streets on the eastern portion of Sunnyside can enjoy walkability to Glen Park. A few other conveniences, and of course, Glen Park BART station, which is great for commuting. Miraloma Park offers a quieter atmosphere, mostly due to the hills and windy streets, making it a retreat from city life. The area is entirely surrounded on the east side by Glen Canyon Park and Mount Davidson to the west, so there's no shortage of access to greenery and hikes. There's a really special landmark and a lot of green space in these neighborhoods. One of them I'm standing in the middle of right now. It's the Sunnyside Conservatory. It is a conservatory with some stunning grounds around it, beautifully landscaped. It was built in the late 1800s, actually fell into disrepair over the years, and then in the 1970s, the community sort of revived it, and now it is run by the Parks Department. It is hosting music events, weddings, other events like that. Outside of this, there are some really beautiful open spaces and greenery. The Glen Canyon Park is probably the biggest one to note. It is absolutely stunning, hiking trails, baseball fields, but when you're in there, you have no idea you're in the middle of one of the biggest cities in the United States. There's also the Sunnyside Playground, which is a little easy to miss. It's at the end of a dead-end street on Melrose Avenue, so definitely put it on your list. Don't miss it. And finally, Balboa Park, which is on the south part of Sunnyside. It is one of the best parks in the city. Has a skate park, baseball fields, a dog park, a swimming pool. So if you have kids especially, you cannot go wrong by spending an afternoon in Balboa Park. If you're thinking about buying a house here, you probably want to know what the homes are like. You'll find a mix of house styles here with a few Victorian cottages interspersed among much larger population of modest mid-century modern homes. You'll also spot some Mediterranean revivals. Some of the homes can be detached and others sit on hillsides and run very vertical with less obvious access to the yard space. Given the size and price points of these homes, many of the homes do not have 3 bedrooms on one level, which can be a draw for families with young kids. So what does it cost to own a home here, and what are the homes actually like? So many people who choose to live here feel priced out of neighborhoods like Noe Valley, sometimes even Bernal, Eureka Valley, and they really value that single family home because at this price point, you actually can get a condo or a TIC in some of those neighborhoods. So the reason people are foregoing those neighborhoods is that they really want a standalone home. So we often tell our buyers you pay about 20 to 30% for sun and walkability. So folks that choose to live here are giving up those two things for the type of product that is here. I have an idea. Why don't we step inside a single family home that's actually on the market right now so you can get a better idea of what you get for your money here. I'm standing outside my colleague Wendy Storch's listing in Miraloma Park. It's on Teresita Boulevard, which is a main thoroughfare through this neighborhood. If you look behind me, the home looks a bit unassuming. It's sort of that boxy, mid-century modern feel that you often find out in the Sunset. But when you go inside the home, there's actually so much more to the property. It's on a hillside, so the back of the home goes downward, and so you get these pretty fantastic views from both the living area and then the primary suite. Let's go take a look inside and I'll show you what's really special about this property. I'm standing in the main living space of this home, which is an open concept living, dining, kitchen area with massive views in front of me. This home has a reverse floor plan, so you get the main living area on top, which in this case plays in well since you get to enjoy bigger views from the main area. The home is a 3-bed, 2-bath property totaling 1,900 square feet. You'll see that this home is quite vertical, spanning 3 levels. It's priced at $1,585 at $830 a square foot. So where do you think something like this will land price-wise? Well, in the spring and summer of 2023, Miraloma, Sunnyside, Midtown Terrace, and Forest Knolls had 59 sales of single-family homes. Average price per square foot was $976. So the average size home in these areas, $1,545 a square foot, median days on market, 13 days, and 8% over list price. So if you have a home priced at $1.5, chances are you're looking at numbers into the 1.6s. And given that they're on the market for about 2 weeks, chances are it's gonna be competitive. So given price per square foot of this home, we'd expect it to land closer to the $1.7 million range, or roughly around there. In a year's worth of inventory showing various seasonalities, there were 92 homes that sold in Miraloma and Sunnyside, averaging $974 a square foot. When we compare Sunnyside and Miraloma to one another in that year-long period, Sunnyside sold at $950 a square foot and Miraloma sold at $1,005 a square foot, showing that Sunnyside gets you more for your money, but Miraloma tends to have a slightly more elevated product, a little bit more desirable, and sometimes it garners higher numbers because of views. If you're considering this area price-wise, you may also be compatible with Sunset, Parkside, Lakeshore, Pine Lake Park, Midtown Terrace, and even Ingleside. Parkside, Sunset, and Twin Peaks fall right in between Sunnyside and Miraloma in terms of price per square foot. Ingleside is the lowest price per square foot of the grouping, and Midtown Terrace leans higher than all of the neighborhoods. Depending on where you are in the range between 1.5 and 2 million, you may also be eligible to find a home in Glen Park or Bernal Heights, but you tend to get less for your money given in the same time period, the average price per square foot in Bernal was $1,089 and in Glen Park it was $1,152. Compare that to an even further extreme, Noe Valley was $1,253. Given it's nestled right up against so many of these other neighborhoods that can often feel like a bloodbath to get into, this is a fantastic option with more reasonable prices. If you're looking for a spot that has a little more walkability also on the southern part of the city, and you have a little more room in your budget, check out the video on Bernal Heights and Glen Park. If there is a neighborhood you'd like to know more about, leave it in the comments. If you're interested in moving to San Francisco, give us a call or send us a quick email to hello@ruthkrishnan.com. We're ready to give you the grand tour in person, and we'd love to help you make a smooth move to San Francisco.